Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Check the post of Husker Nation brought to you by Nebraska Spine Hospital. Today, I have a special guest. He's a former Home Depot Coach of the Year in 1999, two-time Big 12 Coach of the Year in 99-2001, a MAC Coach of the Year in 2006, and his Ohio team played in 4 MAC Conference Championship games. He also recruited me to the University of Nebraska, and I had the pleasure of playing for him for a few seasons as well. Coach Frank Solich. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, Adam. I hope you're doing well, too.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm certainly not bored. I got 6 kids. But let's talk about you. What's it feel like to be retired? And has it even set in yet that you're retired?
Yeah, that's a question that is a good one because it actually hasn't set in. I'm waking up, putting my feet on the floor, but got nowhere to go, and so trying to get used to that a little bit. Always, as you know, in the athletic world and then in the coaching business, you're up bright and early, you're off to work, and sometimes and many times your hours are very late, and so it's a big adjustment right now. But I think it's the best thing for me. I think the timing was great. Tim Alvin's going to be a great head coach there, so that all fit. He was with me for 21 years, 6 years at Nebraska and 15 years here at Ohio, and so we know one another well, and I know how he'll relate to the players and recruits and parents of players and recruits, and it's all good, So I think they're in good hands with Tim.
Now, you've been involved since coaching since 1966 when you started out coaching at Omaha Holy Name High School. Then you started coaching the Nebraska freshman football team, or helping coach, in 1979. So that's over 4 decades of college football coaching and even longer of total coaching. Now, I'm sure you've been bombarded with phone calls, texts, and responses from former players and coaches recently. Okay, so what has that been like? And is there anyone that you hadn't spoken with in a particularly long time that it was good to hear from again?
Yeah, the response really has been amazing to me. A lot of former players, Nebraska players to players at Southeast High School to Holy Name High School. My first coaching job for my first 2 years in coaching after graduating from Nebraska. And then just people in general that I've met over the years, and all the players that have been on the teams that I've coached, as well as, players from the teams we were on together at Nebraska. It's been amazing to me, really, how many people have either texted or emailed, and I'm actually still in the process of returning some of them. But it's good that you have guys that want to pat you on the back a little bit and say hello again and reunite some old acquaintances. I just talked to Ron Kirkland, who we played ball with, and just Pete Patton the other day. I stay in touch with Mike Kennedy, and we were co-captains back in the day, and so there's a lot of those guys that I have some. There's guys that I have some continual contact with, and but guys that I haven't heard from in many years, and so it's great to hear from those guys.
So it leads me to ask. What is your favorite memory from your time at Nebraska? And many people know you were fullback from 1963 to 1965. And actually, something I didn't know, Nebraska beat Air Force 27-17 in 1965, and you were the first Husker to rush for over 200 yards in the game, and which made you also the first Husker to ever be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So do you have a favorite memory from your time at Nebraska, either as a player or your long tenured time there as a coach?
Well, obviously, being around guys like Tom Osborne, Bob Devaney, and their staffs, was a lot of great memories there. A lot of great coaches, a lot of guys that did things really the right way, and so I appreciate the opportunities I had in the coaching profession to be around those kind of people, especially early in my in my coaching career. So that part of it's that part of it's been great.
So you had the opportunity to coach the Nebraska running backs for 15 years, and you coached some of the best Husker running backs that there ever was, guys like Tom Rathman, Calvin Jones, Amon Green, Lawrence Phillips, and more. What set those guys apart? What helped make those guys so good at the running back position for the Huskers?
Well, they had special athleticism, and along with that, they had great toughness. They were all guys that would go into contact and get yards after contact, but they were so instinctive, and they had a knack of finding the hole and having the right timing and finding it to give them an opportunity to be explosive and make big plays. And hey, and I didn't answer that first question very well. You asked about memories, and I talked about the coaches and obviously the championship games and all those kind of things, whether you're talking about conference or national championships and playing for those or what. But maybe the thing that I remember most is games against Missouri, Colorado, where I didn't necessarily get much done. You talked about the Air Force game and big plays. I didn't get done, but it was those were always hard-hitting contests, and that always stuck out in my mind, and I was, able to pick up maybe 3-4 yards a carry, but they were yards earned. And those kind of games stick out in my mind every bit as much as the ones where you win at a level that everybody's feeling really good about the accomplishment. To me, winning those kind of games and just kind of pounding it out kind of remains with me a little bit.
I love that answer. Now, in 2019, you received the Tom Osborne Legacy Award. What did it mean to you to come back to Nebraska and receive an honor like that?
It was great to come back in the first place, but obviously, in terms of receiving something with Tom's name on it, that was really, really special. So, there was no question in my mind that I was going to do that and wanted to do it. It was great. People showed up for the event. Also had a chance to meet former players, former coaches, as well as really spend some time with Coach Osborne. And so it was a great moment for me, I know. In fact, I was in Lincoln visiting, my wife and I were in Lincoln visiting our daughter and her family and the grandkids, and had a chance to meet Coach Osborne for breakfast. And so we had a very, very good talk. So that was really something that I enjoyed tremendously, was getting a chance to be with him here just recently. But anytime you get an award with his name attached to it, it's got to be something special for you. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. And it's pretty awesome you get a visit with him every now and again when you come back to see the grandkids. And I'm curious, because obviously you've coached for quite a while. You've learned from great coaches. You've been able to be a coach. So do you have any advice for aspiring, whether it's college football coaches, high school, even youth football coaches? Do you have any advice for aspiring football coaches out there?
Oh, I don't know if I'm one to give advice, but I know what was that helped me have some success, and that was the ability to relate to people in general, whether it be your coaches on your staff, whether it be the players on your staff, and if you're recruiting college ball, being able to relate to recruits as well as their parents. I think that was something that I did that was in my mind, I think something that enabled me to move forward in the business the way I did. And because everybody can draw up X's and O's. We're all pretty good at drawing up plays, but if you have coaches that are all working on the same page, if you have players that are buying into what you're doing, if you have the ability to go out and recruit and relate to parents and recruits, you got a great chance of being successful in the coaching profession. So I would say it's just the ability to relate to people in general, and if you can master that a little bit, I think you're going to have a great shot.
Even just on the youth sports level, I mentioned before that I have 6 kids. Like, I'm coaching youth basketball, football, baseball, flag football. I will tell you right now, parents are the biggest problem you have in youth sports. But relating to people, whether it's college football or little kids sports, it doesn't change. So that is a completely accurate answer, at least from my perspective. So I want to ask you one more thing about football itself. What has changed the most, from the 60s until now, about college football? And I'm particularly thinking on the offensive side of the ball, because you got wishbone, you got triple option, then you got the power, now you've got the spread. What has changed the most, in your opinion, on the offensive side of the ball over the years?
Yeah, the flexibility of coaches and adapting to the game and adapting to what fits their players' needs in terms of developing the kind of offense you want to develop. It's my thinking that I don't care what kind of offense you run. If you recruit the right people and your players are sold on it, you're going to have a chance to move the football. You're going to have a chance to put points on the board, and you're going to have a chance to win games. And so, I think it comes down to again, relating to people, getting. And on the college level, getting the recruits in that you want in there. And if you're starting out like I did at Holy Name, at Ohio University.
Yeah.
When I started out there, we ran the Nebraska offense, and we were a power football team, play action passes, very successful. We started turning that program around and winning games. But the game started to evolve a little bit, and the passing game came more into play, and quick, the running of plays quickly and speeding up the game. All that was kind of taking over, and so having the ability to adapt to those kind of things, I think, is important. We still always have the same philosophy. We have a running game, but our passing game and our formations and those kind of things are a little bit different than what we were using at Nebraska.
Now, you probably haven't thought about it much yet at all, but what's next for you? In fact, do you want to come coach 6th grade football with me? Now, you can't be the head coach, but I need a running backs coach. What's next for you, Coach?
Well, I don't know, and that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
maybe coming back there to coach with you is, but maybe volunteering somewhere.
Yeah.
I really don't know. This thing has all happened fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I'm still working my way through it all. It was the right decision for everybody. I think myself, the program, and so I have no second thoughts on that. But what the future holds, I don't know. I'm still in a role here at the university where I'm kind of being used as a sounding board for Coach Albin a little bit. I'm also working with our athletic director, Julie Cromer, and working on continuing to try to upgrade our facilities and those kind of things. So I still have a little bit of a job here,
Yep.
And so that part of it will be fulfilling for me. But really, down the road, what what all's going to happen, I don't know. I just take one day at a time. It's kind of been the way I've operated my whole life by.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to join me. Thanks for helping get me to Nebraska in the first place. So I want to thank you for your time, and best of luck in the future, whatever the future holds for you.
Well, thanks a lot, Adam. Appreciate it. And obviously, best of luck to you with your show and your life, and certainly your family. So appreciate you having me on.
All right. Until next time, Husker Nation, go Big Red, and always remember, throw the bones. Thanks again to our sponsor, Nebraska Spine Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, when it's your spine, you do not want to mess around, and experience matters. That's why you can trust the experts at Nebraska Spine Hospital, the region's only spine-specific hospital. They are the best at what they do.